Right now, there's something you do every single day without even deciding to do it. Maybe you check your phone the second you wake up. Maybe you crack your knuckles when you're nervous. And here's the strange part. You didn't choose most of these habits. Your brain built them for you quietly, without asking permission. Picture this. You're driving home from work. You take the same turns, stop at the same lights, pull into the same driveway. And when you get there, you can't actually remember the drive. Your mind was somewhere else the whole time, on dinner, on a text message, on nothing at all. Your body just knew the way. That's not you being careless. That's your brain being incredibly efficient. And once you understand how that efficiency works, you can actually point it at anything you want. Here's a story that shows just how powerful this is. About 100 years ago, an advertiser named Claude C. Hopkins was hired to sell a new toothpaste. There was a problem though. Almost nobody brushed their teeth daily back then. It wasn't seen as necessary. So Hopkins had to do something that sounds simple, but is actually incredibly hard. He had to install a brand new daily habit into millions of people who had never done this before. And somehow it worked. Within a few years, brushing your teeth every morning went from rare to normal for half the country. He didn't do it with willpower or rules. He did it by understanding something about the brain that most people still don't think about. So why does this matter to you? Because whatever habit you're stuck with right now, good or bad, was built using the exact same brain mechanism Hopkins tapped into. And that means it can be rebuilt too. Let's talk about what's actually happening inside your head when a habit forms. Think about learning to ride a bike for the first time. It was hard. You had to think about balance, pedaling, steering all at once. That kind of focused effort happens in a part of your brain called the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for complex thinking and decision-making. But after you practiced enough, something changed. You stopped thinking about it. Your legs just moved. Your balance just adjusted. Riding the bike had shifted from something you thought through to something your brain did on autopilot. That shift happens because your brain built a new pathway, kind of like wearing a trail into grass by walking the same path over and over. The more you repeat an action, the stronger that trail gets, and the less your brain needs to actively think about it. A region called the striatum takes over here. It actually releases chemicals that quiet down the thinking part of your brain for that specific task. This isn't laziness. It's your brain freeing up energy so you can focus on other things, while the habit runs quietly in the background. Now here's where Hopkins comes back into the picture, because he figured out the real formula behind every habit, even without the neuroscience to explain it. Every habit needs three pieces: a cue, a behavior, and a reward. The cue is the trigger. The behavior is what you do in response. The reward is what you get out of it. Your alarm clock going off is a cue. Hitting snooze is the behavior. Those extra 9 minutes of sleep are the reward. Hopkins used this same structure on purpose. He got people to pay attention to the slightly sticky feeling on their teeth in the morning, caused by bacteria that build up overnight. That feeling became the cue. Brushing became the behavior. And the reward he promised was simple: a cleaner, better-looking smile. But something happened that Hopkins never expected. Brushing didn't just clean people's teeth. The toothpaste left behind a cool, minty tingle. And over time, people's brains stopped just wanting a clean smile. They started craving that tingle itself. This is the part where habits stop being a choice and start feeling like a pull. Scientists have found that certain neurons in your brain release a rewarding chemical response. But once a habit is fully formed, those neurons start firing before you even do the behavior. That's craving. It's why you suddenly want popcorn the moment you smell it at a movie theater, even if you weren't hungry a second ago. It's why watching someone else bite their nails can suddenly make you want to bite yours. The reward isn't just something you get anymore. It's something your brain starts asking for in advance. So here's the question people usually ask next. If a bad habit is this deeply wired in, Are you stuck with it forever? For a long time, scientists actually believed adult brains were mostly fixed, almost like dried concrete. Whatever shape it had, that was pretty much permanent. But research since then has shown the opposite. Your brain is closer to clay. It's constantly reshaping itself based on what you do, what you learn, even how hungry or tired you are. Most of these small chemical changes come and go quickly. But when the same behavior gets repeated enough times, something more permanent happens. The physical structure of your brain actually changes. New pathways form, and information starts flowing differently. You may have heard the idea that it takes 10,000 hours to build any new skill. That number gets thrown around a lot, but it isn't really accurate. The truth is messier. The time it takes depends heavily on the task and the person. What stays true across every single case is this: there's no shortcut around repetition. Whether it's learning an instrument, picking up meditation, or building a healthier morning routine, doing it again and again is what rewires the brain. This also explains why breaking a bad habit is so hard. You didn't just develop a preference. You built an actual physical pathway in your brain, and that doesn't disappear the moment you decide to stop. So if you've tried to quit something and failed, that's not a sign of weak willpower. It's just how brains work. Give yourself some room there. And if you are trying to change a habit, trying to erase it completely usually backfires. What tends to work far better is swapping in a new behavior for the same old cue, so your brain has somewhere else to direct that same craving. Here's what all of this means for you. You now understand the exact mechanism that shapes almost everything you do without thinking. You know habits form through a cue, a behavior, and a reward. You know your brain is flexible, not fixed. And you know that changing a habit isn't about forcing willpower. It's about redirecting the same pathway towards something better. That's a real advantage most people never get explained to them clearly. If this changed the way you think about your own habits, even a small one, drop a comment and tell me which habit you're going to look at differently now. Hit subscribe if you want more of your everyday behavior explained like this, because there's a lot more happening inside your head than you probably realized. And next time, we'll look at why some habits form in just a few days, while others take months, even when you're trying just as hard. That one might surprise you even more than this.